Hello, second grade, and welcome to Unit 3, Lesson 2 of our unit on immigrants coming to America and the land of immigrants. So today's lesson is specifically focused on coming to America and how a lot of people did that in the past. So our essential question for this week is going to be, how do people move? Or sorry, not how, why do people move? What do you think? So list any reasons that you can come up with that would make somebody want to move to a new place. Now, on the bottom on the word hunt, find and circle the words escape, Ellis Island, and Statue of Liberty, and two new words that you happen to find as you come across the reading. Go ahead and list them there.
Lesson 2. Coming to America. Essential question. Why do people move? What do you think? The United States. The next week, it was presentation day for more students. Anthony was the first to present. In 1775, the colonists went to war with England to fight for their freedom, said Anthony. He explained that the colonists won the war. The colonies became a new country called the United States of America. Anthony told the class that the first leaders wrote a plan for the United States. The plan said that all people have the right to be free. People who were unhappy in their own countries heard about this plan. As a result, millions of immigrants came to the United States. There were many reasons immigrants came to the United States, said Anthony. In the United States, they would have the freedom to choose their own way of life. For example, they would have the freedom to choose their own religion. They would also be able to buy their own land. Anthony explained that other immigrants came to escape war. For them, the United States was a place of safety. Some immigrants came to find jobs. Others came to escape hunger in their home countries. Their hopes of a better life gave them courage to make the journey across the ocean. Quick check. What are some reasons immigrants came to the United States?
All right, let's take a minute to stop and think about our quick check question. Now remember, this quick check question says, what are some reasons immigrants came to the United States? And some reasons we found in these 2 pages was for them to find freedom to choose their own religion, to have the ability to buy their own land, to escape from war. They've also come to find jobs or get away from hunger and to make a better life for themselves. So over here, underline the reasons why immigrants came to America on these 2 pages, and then we're going to answer our reading skills question. Now, our reading skill is determining the meaning or figuring out the meaning of unknown words. So sometimes you may not understand the meaning of a word. When this happens, read the story again and look for clues. What does this word mean? So we're looking at the word escape. So take a look at the words around the word escape and read that paragraph and those few sentences one more time and write down what you think the word escape means. Now, once you're done answering your essential question and your word hunt on page 74, and that you've underlined the reasons immigrants came to America and finished your reading skills question on page 75, we're going to move on to our next set of pages.
Arriving in the United States. Next, it was Lena's turn to present her report. Lena said that between the years 1892 and 1954, millions of immigrants came to the United States. Many came in ships through New York Harbor. As the immigrants entered the harbor, they could see the Statue of Liberty. The Statue of Liberty is a large statue that was a gift from France. It is located on Liberty Island in New York Harbor, said Lena. The Statue of Liberty stands for the freedoms we have in the United States. The first place many immigrants went before they began their lives in America was Ellis Island, said Lena. Ellis Island was an important immigration center in New York Harbor. The center was opened on January 1st, 1892, so that immigration officials could find out how many people were arriving in America. The Statue of Liberty was shipped from France in pieces and put together in the United States. It took over 4 months to finish. Quick check. What does the Statue of Liberty stand for?
All right, so let's take a look at our essential question, our quick check question here, about what does the Statue of Liberty stand for? So what does it mean? Why do we have it? It's supposed to be a symbol of something. So if we look back on page 76, in that paragraph right underneath where we have the highlighted word Statue of Liberty, we can see that the Statue of Liberty stands for the freedoms that we have in the United States. So you can see a picture of the Statue of Liberty below and Ellis Island. Now, for page 77, it says, imagine that you're an immigrant arriving in New York Harbor. Write a journal entry telling what you see and feel. Explain why the Statue of Liberty is important to you. So take a minute or a couple minutes to write a few lines as if you were a new immigrant coming to the United States. All right, after you complete that section, we're going to go on to pages 78 and 79, and these are going to be the last 2 pages in our lesson. And it starts with the Ellis Island Express.
The Ellis Island Experience. Next, it was Ethan's turn to present about Ellis Island. Ethan told the class that on Ellis Island, immigrants had to go through many steps before they could enter the United States. First, they were given an exam by doctors. The doctors had to make sure immigrants were not sick. People who were sick had to stay at Ellis Island to be treated. Next, the immigrants were asked a list of questions like, what is your name? What country are you from? If the immigrants passed the health exam and answered the questions, they were given entry cards, said Ethan. Finally, most were able to enter the United States. Ethan explained that from 1892 to 1954, millions of immigrants passed through Ellis Island. Eventually, the United States began to limit the number of immigrants that could come into the country. As a result, Ellis Island was no longer as busy as it had been. In 1954, it was closed. Today, it is a museum that reminds people of the immigrant experience in the United States. Quick check. What were the steps immigrants had to go through on Ellis Island?
Okay, so let's think about our quick check question about what were the steps that immigrants had to go through on Ellis Island, and that's also lines up with our reading skills question on page 79. It says, understand sequence. Now, when we're talking about sequence, we're talking about the order that things happen. So place an immigrant's experience at Ellis Island in sequence. Number the boxes below in the correct order. So we're going to go through and figure out what happened first, second, third, and fourth. So our options are examined by a doctor, asked questions, received entry card, or arrived at Ellis Island. Now, the first thing they would have to do before all of this is they would have to arrive at Ellis Island. Afterwards, we can see from the text on page 78 that the first thing they do, and the reading portion on page 78 does use those sequence words to tell us what happened first after they arrived. First, they were given an exam by the doctors. Next, they were asked a list of questions. And finally, they received their entry card. So if you're looking at page 79, they're going to be listed as 2, 3, 4, and then 1, because arriving at Ellis Island is the first thing that would happen. Now at the bottom, why was Ellis Island important to immigrants? And we know from the reading that Ellis Island was an important place for immigrants because that was the place where they were to become citizens of the United States and be let into the United States. So that was their first stop. If they were able to answer all the questions and they passed the health exam, it was from Ellis Island that it was decided whether they could enter the United States or not. Now we're going to review our essential question based on what you know from our reading. Why do people move? So list all of the reasons that you came up with and that you read about throughout this lesson to tell why people move from one place to another. What are some things that motivate or make them want to move to a new country? Once you've completed all of the information on these pages, make sure you upload all of your work, and then you can begin on your quiz for this lesson. If you have any questions, definitely let me know. Otherwise, I hope you have an amazing day, second grade. Take care. Bye-bye.